Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow, take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
It's late night and you are with the center. Hello, everybody. Make sure that we are live because some goofy StreamYard stuff has been happening lately, but it looks like we are live. Don't know where the hell Brad is. Who knows? It's Thursday. He might have gone and seen a movie and taken a nap. All right. Well, hey, welcome to Late Night with the Center. It is Thursday, September 12th, 8 minutes away from Friday the 13th. I'm really leaning towards tomorrow night doing on Friday the 13th late night watch along just for the hell of it. Those are always fun. We are going to watch the Venom trailer. I am a fan of the Venom movies, so I'm already, you didn't have to do much to win me over. I did see something in there that's disappointing, and I hear the rumors already that we're going to already start seeing Noel and things that I don't need to see Noel in. I didn't need to see Noel, the King in Black, in the comics that he was in. I thought the storyline, while it presented some really cool kick-ass covers, I thought the storyline was a disappointment. The entire King in Black thing was a lot of information that I never needed to enjoy Venom or the symbiote costumes. I hate the character Noel. The way they brought him in, the way they made him celestial power, and the whole, it just, But if he's gonna be around, I would rather have him as a villain of Venom. I don't want Spider-Man caught up in that nonsense, but that's just me. Let's say hi to the chat since I'm riding solo today. Hello, Slipknot, long time to see. Music Man, what's going on? Dracula. So much for that night off. Yeah, I was full of shit. Yeah, I knew that. A little bit too much energy. Plus, I was able to get my food early, too. I got some nice Filipino food I'm going to tear up. Quite expensive, but it's tasty. Let's see. I am going to promote and see Venom 3. Like I said, I have enjoyed the Venom movies. I'm not one of these knuckleheads that says, "Oh, Sony, everything Sony says is awful." I don't get caught up in that kind of bandwagon garbage. Have they made some bad movies? Yeah, but for the most part, all my favorite Spider-Man movies are Sony, and that's before we even get to the Sony Disney partnership. Both Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, my three favorite Spider-Man movies are all Sony without Marvel or without Disney. You have to get to number 4 to you get that, and that's what No Way Home. And the main reason that was where it is for me is because of the Sony movies. There are 2 other Sony Spider-Man in that movie that were not partnered with Marvel. or Disney at the time. So I have enjoyed, for the most part, I've enjoyed them. I thought the last one was cut up just to get to a trailer, but now, like I said, I hear the rumors about Spider-Man 4, being a crossover, and I'm like, are you serious? I don't like Noah as a character to begin with. But if you're going to use him, he needs to be on a level that this Spider-Man no longer needs to be operating on. I want to see Spider-Man fighting the Kingpin. I want to see Spider-Man fighting the Rose. I want to see Spider-Man fighting the Jack-Lantern, the Hobgoblin. I want to see Spider-Man, or Tom Holland Spider-Man, fight his own Green Goblin, knowing what he knows from No Way Home. And it could be an entirely new Green Goblin, but he's gonna have that sense of knowing what's about to come, especially if he meets Harry. So that's going to be a conundrum. But I'm assuming this is all going to lead towards Secret Wars, and then a lot of this stuff is going to get consolidated anyway. But like I said, King in Black only been around a few years, and we're already going for the quick high and sticking him in the movie. The sales I didn't see were that strong for the storyline to begin with, so I don't know what inspired this, but I guess since he's connected, he's the god of the symbiotes, and that backstory was bullshit. Noel's backstory for me, I cannot stand. Then he's eating a celestial. I mean, just stop it. Not a fan of that. So yeah, but I will be seeing Venom 3. And like I said, no, that's not going to stop me from going to see it. Just keep that combined to a Venom story. I don't need, I don't need this thrown into everything else we're going to have coming up. Before the King in Black storyline, they had already done a decent job establishing the symbiote. I didn't need to know all that. I didn't need that character. I didn't need that origin story. I didn't need any of that. You had the plenty of the symbiotes, and that was fine. But Marvel has a tendency to create useless, needless, godlike characters. The Beyonder. Does that ring a bell? So, yeah. All right. See, I loved one. The one was a lot of fun for me. 2 was still a good movie, but like I said, they chopped it up just to get to a trailer. Yeah, it was a G-rated Carnage because they cut away from all the stuff that Cletus Cassidy would really be doing. Yeah. Being in New Mexico, fan, I got Clark Gunford. Pac-10 is going to add in 2026 Boise State, Fresno State, Colorado State, San Diego State. Oh, so UNLV is going to be a Pac-10 team or Pac whatever team? That's good for them because that's a better TV contract. I mean, I know you lost the 2 biggest markets out of there, but the Pac-10 is good. It's being in a Pac-10 is going to be a lot better, for recruitment. All right. I don't know. I don't want any more Sony Disney crossovers. I got the one I wanted. It was epic, but I don't want to go back to that well too many times. Hello, it's my favorite Aussie. Right under another Aussie. Neither, to be honest with you, neither do I. I want your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man fighting the Rogues Galleries, and to be honest with you, and I have the same problem with Superman. You have 2 of the richest Rogues Gallery, and we pay these people a lot of money, or these people get paid a lot of money to be new and imaginative, and I'm getting Venom and Doomsday. Spider-Man has one of the epic. I mean, you literally there's like 900 characters associated with Spider-Man because Sony owns the rights to most of them. You have at a Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery, Venom. If you could use so many other colorful villains and more entertaining villains, but they're stuck on Venom. And then what they're going to want to do is they're going to introduce the they would have to introduce the black costume of Spider-Man, and all of a sudden here comes Noel. That's like 30 years of compression into one story. So not a fan of that. I do want to see Spider-Man 4. I've been waiting to see a Spider-Man 4 since he's no longer Tony Stark's stooge. and we actually get a Spider-Man. But I don't. I would, if we were going to do the black costume, I would want it down the line towards the end of Secret War. So I don't want it to be the first movie we finally get Tom Holland as Spider-Man and not, an Avengers Squire. So that's just me now. I don't think that's a good idea. Hopefully, Deadpool and Wolverine will inspire more R-rated comic book movies, and someday we'll see a hard-rated Maximum Carnage. Well, I hope we never see a Maximum Carnage movie because that was part of the. Remember what I tell you guys about the saturation and flooding and milking of what was a decent story, dry and dead. Maximum Carnage is that. But as far as R-rated, the problem with Marvel is, yeah, they can do more, but I don't think you can go too far with it because your demographic is still going to be what it is. You built your brand on a particular type of demographic and a particular type of formula. You might see some R-rated movies. Deadpool's a unique situation, though, because of the fact that he was pre-existing. I don't see them crafting their universe to include too many R-rated movies. And if they do things that are of that content, it'll probably go straight to streaming where you can do TVMA and not really hurt it. Like Daredevil, Daredevil probably works better as a series because you already have an audience for that particular character, and you're not risking a lot of money on a movie that a lot of people are still old fashioned. They will not take their kids to an R-rated movie. I think it's crazy, but I'm not. They're not my kids. There are still a lot of people I know because when we demo these movies, they ask me a lot of questions about the content, and if it looks like there's a potential for it to go in a certain direction, they won't bring their kids. They will go, but they won't bring their kids. So I don't know if Marvel will do that. William, do you remember promo for Arn Anderson gave in? Oh wow, Arn Anderson gave in WCW. Warren Christopher. He gave a lot. You talking about the one where he left the Horseman? Is that the one? Oh, New Mexico was not included. Okay, I thought New Mexico was one of the teams. Sorry. Yes, I disagree with this. So, I honestly think the MC Spider-Man doesn't need a fourth movie. If the first three hadn't been Avengers movies, I would agree with you, Droga. But now that I finally get my favorite, my friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, I want to see at least one movie. I want to see a trilogy of him. I want to see his college years. I want to see him meet Felicia Hardy. I want to see him meet, Kingpin and Rhodes, all these characters. I endured Mr. Stark. Can I have a costume, Mr. Stark? Mr. Stark, I want to be an Avenger, Mr. Stark. I'm nothing without you, Mr. Stark. Oh, we endured that. Now at the end of No Way Home, we got even right down to the suit. We got Spider-Man. So now, no, I endured all that. I want to see not only a fourth movie, a fifth movie, and a sixth movie. At which point, it'll probably be a time to move on to a different Spider-Man. Well, the story, yeah, because there's no connection to Spider-Man. I don't agree with that. That sucks. Because why the hell, I don't know. Noel has it on his, but it was supposed to be influenced by Jessica Carpenter. Because he was standing next to her in Secret Wars. But then Noel has it without, and I guess it's because they're all connected. I don't know. They pull a lot of stuff out of their ass to make that character, and I'm just not a fan of them. I think it's run its course. I would like to see it in here. I think it's ran its course. You've made a lot of money. I think this one is going to do well, especially if they throw in Tom Hardy cameo, which I think they're going to. Hello, Selena. How are you doing? Yeah, but he's young. What is he, 27, 28? And he still looks like a fucking 14-year-old, damn it. And I think his character right now is right where it needs to be to really tell some really good stories. I want to see personally, I'm biased. I want to see the Hobgoblin. I want to see his Green Goblin. I want to see his Harry Osborn. I want to see his Black Cat. I want to see his Jack-o'-lantern. You see what I mean? We spent so much of Tom Holland's time making him a side, character to the Avengers, we never really explored him, even in his own solo movies. We never really explored him properly on his own, in my opinion. Super chat from Master Skeptic William. Apparently, the rumor is the deal Sony did with Marvel doesn't allow them to use Peter Parker in their live action Sony verse. That is not true. That is not true. That is absolutely 100% false. Thank you for the super chat. But I get this all the time. Sony owns the theatrical IP for Spider-Man. It is up to them what happens. They did not sign it. In fact, you know what? Let's see. Because the people picking this up, and I'm never able to find anything of it. You're not the first person to say this. But I don't. Why would Sony do that? It's their character. They own the IP. That would be like me needing permission from you to use my property. Why would they put themselves in a position to where they would do that? Unless they're only going to do. Hold on. Because, like I said, every time people bring this up, I'm never able to find anything. And from what I read, Sony can do whatever they want. The only control that Marvel or Disney has is when they're collaborating on movies that Disney Studios is producing. And that's with Tom Holland. They have to come to an agreement on that shared version of the character in order for them to go forward. Hold on. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Oh my God. Yeah, I like I said, I'm not jumping on you, Rational. Thanks for the support, but I keep hearing this, and for as far as I know, that is not true. Spider-Man Noir, by the way, there's a version of Peter Parker. That's a Spider-Man. They're doing that. That's on them. Granted, it's animation, but yeah, you're talking about live action. I don't think they have the balls right now to do it because they seem to be scared to do that. But I don't know of any deal that would prevent them from using the IP that they own. To anything they want to do. Why would you do that? That just doesn't sound. But why do? Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, I see it popping up in like a CBR article, but nowhere else. Let's see. These are old articles since 2023. Okay, the conduction permits. I know that. Yeah, I don't see anything. And by the way, Peter Parker was in Madam Web. So thank you for the $5 super chat. Like I said, I have to turn on. Get us off my screen. That would be cool. Like I said, I love Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, so that would be cool. Oh yeah, Spider-Man Noir is live action. Duh. I like I said, guys, I don't see. I know there's an article in CBR that says that, but I've never seen that anywhere else concrete. I think they are fearful of doing it because they are afraid of doing anything outside of the Tom Holland. That's why they're always trying to attach their stuff to his. But I say you own the IP, just go ahead and do what you want to do. Yeah, that's not going to happen. This isn't some fucking Molotov cocktail bullshit, dude. Sorry. All right, so I guess Brad is no, he's coming, or at least he was. That was 10 minutes ago. All right, but yeah, let me. I'm gonna look. You know, Ras, I'm gonna look at it because I've never. It doesn't make any sense that they would ever sign a deal like that. There's speculation. Let's see. Yeah, specifically the deal, not public. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's wishful thinking, dude. Sorry. Either Garfield, I think it's going to be Holland. I think they want to because Sony wants this crossover like that more than Feige does. Feige wanted to tell a grounded story. Sony wanted to tell a multiversal story. I side with Feige on that. I want that particular Spider-Man to be Feige's and let him develop that for the next 3 movies. And I want Sony to do their thing. You know, because I am of the caliber. I do not believe that there is something that prevents Sony from doing their own. But and like I said, if there's been nothing officially made public, there's been a lot of rumors and speculation. But I'm gonna do some research. All right, I'm like any reason. Okay, Sony owns the license to the IP. Other than reinforcing the original contract that stipulates how Peter Parker is allowed to be portrayed, Marvel cannot dictate what they do with it, especially when Marvel is the one leasing Spider-Man from Sony. Okay, yeah, and yeah, I don't think there's any stipulation, but I'm gonna look that up though. Yeah, let him. He's cultivated that version of Spider-Man. You cultivate one of yours, and let's say for instance, well, no, because even though that was a partnered movie, all the Spider-Man movies that have been done with Disney are Sony movies. So they would be no, yeah. I don't believe that to be the case. But yeah, I do want Feige to continue with the Tom Holland character because, to be honest with you, he's created that character to fit in that universe, and I want Lord and Miller to get together. By the way, that remember that rumor about Lord and Miller was walking away. Never heard shit about that again. Um, I I would like to see them do their own universe, do their own thing that has nothing to do with the MCU. Yeah, since he's not here, we might as well just throw the raid in there. I'm assuming, yeah. You know what? Secret Wars is going to be so fucking clustered to begin with. I mean, what's 2 more characters? No, I'm talking theatrical. I'm talking Spider-Man movies. He did, but there was no deal in place. Yeah, Bill and Feige wanted the original. Yeah, and then it just Pascal got in there and just. No, it is an agreement. It's basically a lease. The agreement. Sony owns the character. Sony owns the character in regards to theatrical, whether it is a theatrical movie, like cartoon, as is with Miles Morales, or when it comes to theaters. Every Spider-Man movie, whether it be Homecoming, Far From Home, or No Way Home, are all Sony movies. They Marvel Disney produces them, but Sony owns the IP and they are the distributor. They co-produce them. They own the character. They have to come to an agreement on everything that happens in those movies. Um, so as far as they don't really lease the characters. There's a deal in place for them to use the character, to co-produce with the character, but that is at the behest and at the discretion of Sony. Sony owns the IP. So that's it. When you own something, there's very little. Like I said, in their deal, I've never seen it anywhere. Like I said, that I think is credible to where that excludes them from using, because once again, you had you literally had Spider-Man, teased in the Morbius movie, and Peter Parker is in that. You see his parents giving birth. That's Peter Parker on screen, technically. So no, I don't know if it's more of an agreement, agreement of use, a limited use agreement, and I don't know how long it is. They never specified how long it is, and there's a lot of details that they have neither side has put forth. So there's a lot of people that that are saying stuff that nobody really knows. So yeah, so yeah, but no, Sony owns the theatrical rights, the licensing to Spider-Man. That's it, and that's it. And Marvel uses that. Marvel has to have an agreement in place. Disney has to have an agreement in place in order to make movies with that character. Yeah, that's all Disney. Oh, you're going to see one. I have no doubt you'll see Wanda Maximoff return. I've said this over and over again. I think Secret Wars is going to be a clusterfuck, but it's going to be the cool thing about Secret Wars is that once we're done, they're back to the sacred timeline. I don't once Marvel is done telling their multiverse story, I don't want them to do it anymore. Like I said, the difference between DC and Marvel is DC, the multiverse is a discipline that has been in place for almost 50 to 60 years. Marvel is a storytelling device that once they've used it, that is it. The story is over. So I'm going to be glad at the end of Secret Wars, because I think they're going to create a consolidated universe so that they have everything that they've ever wanted, and they introduce things in there seamlessly because of the way the sacred timeline is set up. I don't know, man. That ending of Smile 1 kind of pissed me off. That's one of those movies that felt like I got Jordan peeled on that one. I was really digging Smile. And that ending was like, okay, number one, you may as well wrote in blood or lipstick on each of the victims' foreheads that there is going to be a sequel. Because that entire movie screams sequel. Because they did not get anywhere near to telling the parts of their story that they needed to tell in order for there to be a positive, a proper resolution. So they basically hooked you. So I'll probably be promoting Smile because we promoted the last one, and I'll probably end up seeing it. All right, stop bringing gross shit like Terrifier 3 up in my stream. You guys are nasty. Hopefully it's the last we have to see that whack ass character. Should Spider-Man? It all depends. It all depends on how they do it. I don't want if Miles Morales does what they did in the comic and he joins the Earth 616. That doesn't mean he needs to be incorporated the same way Tom Holland's Spider-Man was. Because like right now, Miles Morales is in Earth 616. He's in basically would be the MCU, but he's not. He has his own contained stories. So if he did go to the MCU, which I think would be an absolute would be stupid, because I don't believe that Sony should ever give any of their money away to anybody else. They should do those universe. They don't need the rest of the MCU for a Miles Morales story. Miles Morales has a demographic connection and a unique one that the money's already there. I think Lord Miller should keep that character no matter what form it is in Sony and let Sony make that money. But if they did do it, if they did have a live action thing and that's where it happens, as long as Lord and Miller are involved, I'm confident that will get something good. I am not happy with, how Marvel Disney has handled the Spider-Man character narratively. I know it's been successful, but like I said, I didn't get Spider-Man until the end of No Way Home. I don't want to see that for Miles. I want to see the people who have brought Miles to this level on the big screen to stay with that character and continue to develop him. But if they're involved, to answer your question, Mighty Rex, if they are involved, then I have confidence in that, and then I would go ahead and say yes. But if they're not involved, no. But I'm leaning towards no anyway, because I don't think Miles Morales, I don't think Sony needs Disney to do well with Miles Morales. And people bring up all the stupid shit like, oh, Madam Web. Miles Morales, Spider-Verse is not Madam Web. Miles Morales and the Spider-Verse is not, Morbius. These are the way Miles Morales is being handled is different than the way those movies have been handled. You actually have a Spider-Man in those movies. So no, I think as long as those two gentlemen are in control of the character, I think I feel safe with coming over, back and forth. But ultimately I would say no. Right, cinematic. Hey, William, personally looking forward to Venom Last Dance. It's true that Norman Reedus said. I heard that, and from what I saw, the picture, it does look like him. Let's go ahead and watch this trailer. I'm not going to get monetized anyway, so if I get knocked off, it ain't no big deal. All right. Got good sound. Let's do it. Don't want to do that. You can't see here. All right, here we go. Start over. Eddie, I'm with you to the end.
This is your captain speaking. If you look out to your left, you'll see a beautiful view of the Grand Canyon.
Told you we could fly!
Oh, the so close,
Crush! Where it takes you! You're not going to like this.
No, I can absolutely guarantee you I'm not gonna.
My home has found us.
Who sent that thing?
My creator.
Of course.
Now that I've lost everything to you.
The symbiotes didn't come here by accident. They were running.
From what?
But then a lot of nice things turn bad out there.
What's his name then?
No! No! We have something he needs. As long as Venom lives, everything will end.
What are we doing?
We need a disguise.
Hey, man.
Whoa!
Why do you keep knocking people out? What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry!
Oh, baby, baby, it's a while.
We've come a long way, you and me.
It's hard
We are strong.
This world can't survive if you stay together.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a while.
But I need him. You're bad people.
Yeah, we are.
Always remember you.
There comes a time in every man's life
where you have to make a sacrifice.
Eddie, I'm with you to the end.
I always remember you.
No, this is all the money that we have.
What is this feeling? It's like
This feeling?
It's like all of my problems have gone away. No!
I think you broke my foot.
Eddie, I need more money.
All right. Looks like a lot of, like I said, you can see Nolan there. You see, yeah, all the symbiotes. So basically, we're getting King Black a little bit in there. Like I said, I can't stand that storyline. But what did you guys think? Yeah, there's always been shades of comedy. I do like the connection. That's one of my favorite things about this character is their back and forth. I hate. By the way, much respect to Eric Larson, but Eric Larson is the one who changed the design of Venom to that whole tongue shit. When Todd McFarlane initially first created the character, it didn't look like that. It wasn't until Eric Larson took over Spider-Man after issue 328, and Venom was used a little bit after that. That he developed that style of drawing Venom with the jaw, the elongated jaw, and the tongue, and all of those stuff. So yeah, never been a big fan of the tongue design. It's gross, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's got some deep stuff in it too. It seems you get a sense of finality. I don't know what's going on with Red. You get a sense that this is reaching a culmination. Obviously, the title, Last Dance, and that. But I like you said. But the rumors are that this could extend over. This is more than likely the last Venom movie, but it's probably not the last time you see the character or the symbiote. Obviously, remember, there's a piece after No Way Home. There's a piece of that symbiote in the Disney Marvel universe. So technically, they don't really need to cross over, but they're probably going to because that's Sony just likes to do that. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. That guy's been dead for a long time, by the way. Hey, Byrne. I remember when he did car commercials. They make money, so I don't get the hate either. I mean, they're fun, I'm not going in there looking for, Goodfellas level. I'm going in to have fun and watch Venom bite off heads. That's what I'm doing. The Venom, the character in general, I mean, is one of my least favorite characters of all time. So the fact that I get any enjoyment out of these movies means they've done a good job telling the story. Probably pressing our luck showing the one we just did. In fact, let me see if I'm still in the air. I think I have to wait on Salem's Lot because of I think we're promoting that. That's on HBO Max exclusive. They're actually gonna screen that somewhere. But eventually, Azteca, we will. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and I know I'm going to get copyright struck for that song, Cat Williams or Cat's. Oh wow! Look who's about to pop in. Oh, is he going to have a footprint to the head? Let me see. Oh,
Yeah, it was under the crash night, man.
Oh, I knew exactly what it was. Did you go to the movies and crash, or did you just get kicked in the head and then crash?
No, it was. I wanted to go. In fact, I might try to go tomorrow afternoon for a Killers game, but yeah, I wasn't able to do that tonight. But yeah, it was part of it was also because I had to. Today was the day where it's like I had to go to the dentist in the morning for some of that stuff to deal with. Then I had regular stuff. Of course, that combination definitely will take a lot out of me.
Ah, jeez. Yeah, the fourth one bows on philosophy towards movies. They there's a term for your philosophy if they execute it. It's called bankruptcy. Sorry, don't ask him to explain it. He can't. It's from his point of view, which is fine, but it's like, dude, you know, hey, my favorite fellow Las Vegas. Yeah, we just watched the trailer right before you came in.
Oh, for Venom 3?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it looks like a lot of fun. I go into those movies just strictly just to have fun. I hate the fact that Noel is involved. I just really wish they would have done it, differently, but I'm fine with it. Like I said, I can't stand Noel for the same reason I can't stand Doomsday and some of these other characters. It's like you take a, especially if you're going to involve Spider-Man. It's not really that big part. Spider-Man has a bunch of I mean, you could go up and down Spider-Man's rogues gallery and have so much fun. So not only are we going to probably get the suit on him, but we're going to compress it with this King in Black shit, and that's where it's like, I mean, there's so many things I want to see Spider-Man, even Tom Harland's version of Spider-Man, involved in before I ever see him involved in any of this. So I hope the rumors of a crossover aren't true, but I got a bad feeling that they are. I want this to be the end of the Venom movies. I think this is a good way to send them out. Even if you use a symbiote, I don't think you should go into Spider-Man 4 with the symbiote. If you do symbiote, I think it should be towards the end. Because, like I said, the black costume for Spider-Man, it's like Death of Superman. The layman thinks that's the only storyline out there. Spider-Man only had that costume for less than 3 years. Legit. Spider-Man, the Spider-Man black costume saga only lasted 3 years. And half of that time, he wasn't wearing the symbiote. Remember, he got rid of the symbiote and wore his own black costume after that. So he was only wearing the symbiote for like a year or so. And then he was wearing the overall black costume. He wore that costume from Amazing Spider-Man 252 to the end of Amazing Spider-Man 300. It's only 3 years. A little bit over 3 years when you look at the release schedule. The end of 1984 and the end of right at the beginning of 1988, because Spider-Man 300 came out in the February of 1988. I remember I bought it off this rack of Norton Air Force Base Commissary, waited forever. This is before I started frequenting comic book stores, and you had to wait for the rack, the shit to come on the rack. It's Amazing Spider-Man 300. That is where that story ends. But he only wore that costume for 3 years, and no, you know, so it's not like an automatic destination point that we have to have the black costume story. But here we go. So yeah, I mean, I think Venom's fun. I could do without Noel. I could do without Noel ever, because I think Noel's origin story. Once he ate the Sentinel, I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. This guy, we're getting the Beyonder scenario here, where here you have an all-powerful character that's supposed to be this all-powerful challenge, and then it's like it just gets old. And that's what Noel is to me. And the creator of the symbiotes, when, like I said, you went nearly 30 years of symbiote stories without ever having to tell that, and all of a sudden now they have a god. It's like, yeah, whatever. But it's, once again, that character is basically a baby, and here we got him in the movies already. So I really hope that the rumors that they use him as a basis of Spider-Man 4, I hope that's a rumor, one of those unfounded ones like we've had the last week, about 10 of them. All right, how are you doing?
I have a very kind of different perspective on a lot of these, when it comes to like characters like Venom, Doomsday, Bane. My general rule is, if there is a storyline where they can or have come close to killing the character, I demand they're in the movie at some point.
Okay, but here's the thing: you got really, really talented people who walk into better characters than those. There is not one character in any of those characters' role gallery that is not superior to that. It's lazy. It's basically lazy. You didn't need to create any of those characters that could come close to killing any of those characters. You just had to write a better fucking story. See, and that's what it is. That's what happened in the 90s. That's why the math told the truth of those characters. That's why Batman, for the first time in like 35 fucking years, their sales tanked. That's why you couldn't give Spider-Man away to homeless people. While we had Maximum Carnage and all the, I'm like, oh my god, because the actual collector recognized that bullshit for what it was. You already had characters that could test Superman. You just needed to write a better story around them. You already had characters that could drive Bruce Wayne to the brink. You just had to write better stories for them. But no, we couldn't do that. So we need to create a character to do all the things that we already have about 8, 9, 10 characters for each of these guys to do already. You didn't need a Bane to do that to Batman. You didn't need a Doomsday to bring Superman to me. These guys come in, and that it's just lazy storytelling.
Okay,
that's what it was.
The counterpoint to all that, if there's a story where they can or have come close to killing the character, I demand they're in a movie.
I don't fucking need to see that in the movie, though. I don't need to see that laziness fleshed out. Just because you had writer's crutch and you couldn't. And by the way, if you're writing Superman, if you're writing Batman, and you're writing Spider-Man, and you're getting paid to do this, and you can't fucking look back at the 50 to 60 years of Rogues Gallery and pull one of those characters out that already exists, you have to make a name for yourself and create a godlike character that, oh my God, this guy can kill Superman. So what? There's 20 of Superman's villains that could probably kill him under the right circumstances. You're just too fucking lazy to write one.
If there's a story where they can or have killed the character,
Why?
Because I need to see that rite of passage with the character.
You can
That's
read
what I
that.
See.
You can read that in the comic book. That's lazy. That is lazy. You can't even get Ra's al Ghul right. The guy who can bring Batman to the ring. If there's anybody who could do it,
killing the character, put him in a movie.
So that's everybody that Batman's ever faced. You literally
hasn't happened with
everybody because nobody wrote the fucking story to do it. That's lazy. Just because somebody hasn't done something doesn't mean it can't be done. Everybody that Batman has graced his pages can kill him. Everybody that Superman comes up against has the potential of killing him. You basically named every fucking character that has ever been in any of these pages.
And which one has actually done it? Then I want to see them. That's what I.
How many times I could get you? We come to Vegas. I will put a stack. Absolutists don't write stories. I could put a stack in front of you that literally could boost you up to the fucking stratosphere of characters that have come close to killing Superman. They're not media stories because the media doesn't know fucking comics in 1993. They don't make the pages of Time magazine. That doesn't mean that there's not stories in there. You think that was the first time Superman's come close to death? The only reason they did it because you couldn't give Superman away in 1992, 1993. You couldn't do it. It was toilet paper with color. It wasn't done for good narrative reasons. These things, and that's the problem. That's why you had the 90s. You weren't doing things to write good stories. You were doing stupid shit to get headlines. And that's why it crashed.
Yeah,
that's why it crashed.
I don't think we're getting well to go part of Aaron's comment. You know, here's part of the reason why is because I want to flesh out my point a little bit more. It's kind of the reason why, or I would like what's what this is. It's one of the reasons why I'm so into things like Life After Fighting, where you have parts where it's like he's on by the end of it he's taking like blows to the back. He's having to literally tell himself, "Don't quit. You have to get up." It's like for me, it's like no. If you have to push your characters to that point where
write a better story. You don't have to pull shit out of your ass to do that. You don't have to try to make a media mark to do that. You could do exactly what you're saying with just about any of the characters out there. All right. The only reason they did it in 1992, 1983, and 1984 because they were desperate. Look where comic books said, trust me, I was there. Dude, it wasn't pretty. You did it out of desperation and somewhat laziness. And desperation doesn't always didn't do them good. Like I said, you got a shot in the arm, and then look what happened in the 90s. All right. both companies, if Warner Brothers did not own DC Comics in the 1990s, they would have been in the same spot as Marvel was, which was near bankrupt. Because remember, Marvel didn't have a studio, it didn't have Warner Brothers or anything like that backing them. But they were both financially and monetarily wise in the same space. So these stories gave them a shot at heroin, and they do what heroin does. So everything you're saying, I can understand where you're coming from with that. But okay, you already have characters to do it with. I don't need to create meaningless characters to drive home a point that you already have literally 1,000 characters that can do it. Write a better story and don't wait till you're so desperate. I got to get the media involved. Oh, and like I said,
So counterpoint: if they have or almost killed the character, put them in a movie. Okay, that's where I'll leave it.
That's kind of. I don't know if you're trolling me right now because that can't be.
That's like I'm half trolling and half being serious. Well, I was trolling the sense. It's like I'm just making the same, same verbatim over.
You have Brainiac can kill Superman. I mean, you have to write the story. Any one of these characters, you can do that. You know, and that would actually be a compelling story. Dude, the stories that Roz is in, I mean, Contagion, all these things like that, those are stories. Those aren't high spots. And you didn't need to do that. And for 30 years, they've told a basically fairly decent storyline of the origin of symbiotes and all that. But now we need a godlike character because we need this global threat because we want you to buy. But listen, this comes from a guy who sells comics. But if you're creating a character with no narrative purpose just to break through a headline, then I don't need that. I need consistency. And you have decades and decades of Spider-Man villains. Fucking Hobgoblin and Norman Osborn nearly kills Spider-Man every time they encounter until one of them actually died. I mean, Norman Osborn made it to where he could walk up. He had technology that basically rendered Spider-Man. And then one time he could have killed him, but he didn't want to affect. He knew that he was Harry's best friend, and when he actually killed Norman Garden, please don't tell him. There was a connection there. There was a story there. I didn't need some godlike person. I had one in Norman Osborn, that I could use. Same thing with Superman. There are characters that are already there that could really drive this point home with Superman. Everything you're wanting out of that character that could bring him close to death or kill him, there's like about 10 or 20 characters that can do it. But what creating a Warren does is, this mysterious, let's get the news media involved. That was a ridiculous period when the Death of Superman came out. I was ashamed to be a comic book fan because you had all these people that didn't know a goddamn thing about comic books. Oh, there's staples in them in paper. Okay, that's my knowledge. And here they are flooding the market, making it so that when I go to the office tomorrow, what can I grab off the wall? They're all going to be sitting there. Death of Superman. Death of Superman. So no.
Aaron, we're gonna get your point. I'm gonna get your point in a second here, Aaron. But my final point on this: if they have or almost killed the character, put him in a movie.
Okay, I'm going to take that as 100% troll. I'm going to take that as 100% troll.
I don't think we are getting.
We
have.
I didn't even see you
getting bait. Yeah.
Iran. Hold on. Iran.
Anand.
Aaron Anand.
Actually, are you guys in Pakistan that William was talking about?
Hey, where are you from? Yeah, where are you streaming from, or where are you watching it from? Because we got people in Pakistan, and I really want to jump on the show, man. Because
in fact, well, I mean, in fact, if you guys feel comfortable doing it in the comments, just, I mean, don't give us like your address. Or anything.
We don't need coordinates. It's just country, just a country.
Yeah, not longitude, latitude, but just like if you feel comfortable saying it's like I'm in Hong Kong or I'm in I'm in Indonesia or I'm in Pakistan or wherever. Because again, our audience has like gone very international.
India.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, he's in India. Oh, awesome,
India.
Man.
Thank you,
man.
Thank you. I mean. Thank you for giving us a shot. Disregard Brad. Listen, in fact, you know what? Yeah.
We've agreed I'll be taking over the show from here on.
The show is much better with without him on there.
Listen,
when he shows up on time.
Oh,
India's cool. India's cool. I'll go back to Aaron's stuff.
By the way, if you weren't aware, we have this running joke, and for whatever reason, it always tends to happen on Thursdays. I think it's because Thursdays actually kind of tend to be my longest days. Between just my
Well, sometimes you go to
my
movies
work
and-
life and my dojo life and occasionally my dentist life as it was today.
life in general. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Well, and then Friday tends to kind of be my shortest day.
Yeah, and then Saturday for me and Sundays is crazy. But no, dude, everything you did in 1993 with Death of Superman, you could have done with Brainiac. But you know what? Brainiac doesn't get CNN involved. Roz doesn't get CNN involved.
Well, and like to my point, I was making earlier, which by the way I stand by. But I do want to see like really at some point we do need to see, and that's what makes the whole Cavill Snyderverse situation so that much more vexing. Is that again he was, I mean the
Darkseid can kill Superman. I mean, you can
yeah, and exactly what happens like that gets cut off too.
So
but he but also Brainiac was, I mean, he was going to be, in all the pitches for Man of Steel 2 they were taking, because Brainiac, he always making it on the TV. It's like he always gets like this far away from being in a movie, and then
gets,
the closest we've gotten is is discount Brainiac and Superman 3, which was
I don't even consider that. I will never claim that as a Brainiac.
We got discount Brainiac, we got discount Bizarro, and discount Lex Luthor and Superman 3. That's why Superman 3 is my by far, to me, by far the part of the reason it's the worst Superman movie is, again, part is the campiness and the fact that it's a Richard Pryor movie that Superman guest stars in. There's that, and then also again you've got, as far as the Rogues Gallery, it's discount Lex Luthor, discount Brainiac, discount Bizarro in it.
Yeah, and hand-to-hand combat. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the hand-to-hand combat situations. Superman gets some good punches in on Darkseid. Don't get me wrong. But mostly he beats the hell out of him. And that one image where Superman is trying to fly away and he grabs him by the cape and just starts smacking him around, Darkseid is immensely powerful. That character alone could kill Superman.
Well, they haven't done a Death of Superman story with Darkseid, but he absolutely he can take out anybody because he's
Dark. Once again, and I remember talking to a guy named Mike who ran Law and Order Comics, my comic store, when it was open in San Bernardino, where we would talk about there's so many characters that you could have told this exact same story, and had it been a lot more pivotal. It could have been Darkseid doing a full-on Earth invasion. He's always wanted them as them as Scar. I mean, all that, and Superman tries to stop him, and that's what happened.
And William, what do you always say about that? Instead of that, we got Polka Dot Man, we got Birds of Prey, we got this is what
I'm talking back. Yeah, this is what we're getting out of thin. I'm talking about back in 1993 when I'm sitting there, as the Death of Superman is on the news.
And Darkseid had been around for a while as a character by that point.
Yeah, he'd been around for a while. I mean, he'd been around for like
40 years, I think.
Yeah, 1973. He'd been around for actually 20 years.
Oh, so not even
yeah, because he came out and Jimmy Olsen, Superman's friend Jimmy Olsen, he was actually in that, and that's where he started. And then Jack Kirby, because Jack Kirby created him during his time at DC. So you could have done that, But like I said, the things about Batman's broken back. There were so many people who bought that comic that didn't even read it. They heard about it on one person came in my store one time. They heard about it on MTV News. That's why they were buying it. Oh, Batman got a back book. That must be some really awesome person that could do that. How about every muscle fucking head in Gotham that has tried? And then the story, the thing I don't like about Nightfall and Night's End and all that is the story and how Bane, it just happens. I mean, this guy is like the luckiest, strongest thing in the world, and you have smarter, higher caliber villains that didn't get to this point. But because we needed something to put on a newspaper, and back when newspapers were a thing, and I remember Death of Superman was on the front page of the newspaper. Darkseid's not going to get you that. All right, Ra's al Ghul is not going to get you on the front page.
Well, Darkseid, it's like, well, again.
Oh yeah, you're. I know you're having PTSD of what we could have had today, but that's what I mean about these characters like Noel and Darkseid. They're just godlike characters that are created for headlines to do things that we already have people that can do that, but that doesn't grab. That doesn't. That doesn't.
We got Darkseid now. It's like that would grab headlines just because of the circumstances.
Well, the story alone was doing like. Could you imagine? Him going up against Darkseid could really, do a job on Superman. I think you could have a story where he ultimately beats Darkseid, Maybe.
And we're talking about like how much power they're throwing at each. I mean, go back and like watch the end of Justice League Unlimited where he's telling that's one of my favorite Superman moments is when he's telling him it's like I have to hold back constantly because I feel like the world's made of cardboard. Oh, but you can take it, so I'm just gonna go to town on you, and you see that happen. That's when that was such an awesome way to like close out the show. So
good point here, Music Man, and we left out one that could really do a job. Black Adam.
Shazam is
Shazam is equal in power to Superman,
but he's not a villain to Superman.
No, but he's fought him. Kingdom Come.
Yeah. Well,
but who do you have?
I get that, but I'm talking about characters who were like regularly Superman villains.
But who do you have that is a villain in that universe? Black Adam.
It's Black Adam, yeah.
Black Adam is of equal power to Superman, and he's evil. And they fought, and he has magic under him.
Yeah, another one that we.
I know. Stop it. But see what I mean, though. If you sat down and like started flipping through the pages, you could have actually found. But see, Black Adam, not going to get you the headlines, and that's the sad thing about it is the story wasn't being told for people who knew these characters. The story was being told to try to grow a speculative audience, and that's the same thing. Like I said, it's a headline grabber. But I don't even see why they're doing it now. I mean, no. The thing about Null is there's only so many ways you can write him. You now have to bring in the Celestials. You can't bring in Null without bringing in Celestials. It just makes no sense. There's too much of his story because he basically is one. He's at that level. He's a Thanos level. Actually, no, he's way more. He's overpowered. That's another thing. That when I even going back with a kid, Marvel always threw an overpowered villain when they couldn't figure out a way to write themselves out of a situation. The Beyonder is probably the worst comic book villain ever. He is the lamest comic. There's nothing he couldn't do, and the way he gets tricked into being defeated is just dumb. And I knew that as a 9-year-old buying Secret Wars off the 7-Eleven racks. I hate these overpowered characters, that don't, my villains got to be thinking man villains. That's why I like Roz. That's why I like, I don't think the Joker's not thinking. He's impulsive, but he has a way of thinking, though, that makes him very dangerous, but you got a lot of people that could have given you that moment. Now, once they've decided that they wanted to kill Superman, so you could have had Darkseid do it, or didn't even do that, then that's the story. But the creation of this, who is this guy? Nobody, because what you had done for decades is put into the mind that nobody could stop Superman, which is false. But the layman, the outsider, when you say how could you kill Superman, he's a lot more powerful, because they watch the movies, they watch all this other stuff. But the comic book readers, I was like, of course you could kill Superman. Of course you could you could outsmart Batman to the point where you stalked him and followed him. Roz already had done it. Roz knew who he was. He knows who Bruce Wayne is. So much where he pretty much poured his daughter out to him. Why don't you make some kids? And that's what happened. But
let's go and go back to Aaron's original comic because we kind of skipped over that.
Oh, go back to it.
I don't think we're getting.
No, that's not Aaron. Oh, I thought you meant Aaron.
Aaron, yeah.
Arun. Yeah. Arun, please tell us out in the chat how to say your name so we're not,
Yes, please, yeah.
Because I'm thinking Aaron. I thought, what? Who's on first?
My long lost sister in Australia. Of course, is who.
And he got one in India, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think we're getting Bane or Doomsday for a long time. Even Venom will probably just team up with Spider-Man rather than fight him. Well, and that's the.
That's definitely.
Well, that's the thought. Always. The direction I think they were kind of hinting with the No Way Home cameo. That's what I always thought they were hinting. I mean, he leaves a little glob of the symbiote behind the MCU, but the fact that you've established from the outset that Hardy's Venom is an anti-hero, and he has like some kind of a he doesn't have the enmity with Spider-Man, but he does have he has an interest. Like, I need to find this guy and talk to him. See what he's all about. So that's what I always kind of thought. And that's why it's like, I feel like I don't think this is the end of the line for Tom Hardy's Venom. This might be the last Venom movie.
That's what we were saying before you came on. This is the last movie. I think you're going to see him. They could have gone different directions. They could have used the symbiote. That symbiote could have found an Eddie Brock in that universe, and they could have done that with everyone. But apparently they've come to an agreement. I rumor that this will be the thing. And I'm like, all right, just give me Spider-Man 4. Just give me Spider-Man 4. I don't want it. Just don't do it in Spider-Man 4. I want to see my friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for the first time. I want to see Tom Holland give me a Spider-Man story that is not wholly attached. I know we're still every movie is going to be caught up in the Secret Wars, driver event, but still, for the majority of it, I want to see it because I've waited for this. So yeah, how is Shazam a Superman villain?
Well, there are contexts where they've been, a pit against each other.
Mr. Mind gets inside of Shazam's head, causes him to go rogue, and that's what happens. But like I said, Shazam is just one of those characters that could do it. In fact, if you read Kingdom Come, if Clark doesn't talk some sense into him and override the worm that's in his head, he was going to kill Superman because there was nothing stopping him. And what stopped him was he grabbed Billy Batson and as he yelled Shazam again. But he could have still yelled Shazam again and turned himself back into him. But what Superman did is he started talking to him before he had a chance to do it. He put his hand over his mouth. So by the way, going back to what you're saying about Black Adam, because this is something that really annoyed me with with Black Adam is some of the criticism The Rock was getting is the idea is like what you're trying to like put him up against Superman when he's classically a Shazam villain. William, back me up on this. Of course, there is plenty of comic book precedent for Batman and Superman or a Black Adam Superman actually coming. Oh yeah, they have a dramatic history with each other. One literally got sued out of existence for 30 years because of the other, and when they brought them back, they've been part of the same team. But Black Adam, that just the fact that there's a guy like that out there, the only person that would be able to stop Black Adam would have been Superman, and the only person that would have been able to stop Superman would have been Black Adam. And the story that they were building in Black Adam, I liked it because that whole everybody else has left us here, but Black Adam. And I could see him spreading that to other superheroes and coming up with a different contemporary, kind of like what Kingdom Come was. What Kingdom Come was Omega. I would have been okay with that kind of storyline if you were going to go out there, because I'm not a big fan of Kingdom Come Light. Tell Kingdom Come or not. But if you were going to do it that way with the pieces you already had there, Superman and the way he does things, and then people are like, why would he work for Amanda Waller? I think he would work with Amanda Waller to fit the needs of Superman, but I don't think he would take orders from Amanda Waller. Yeah, but even Superman without Amanda Waller would have approached Black Adam because of damn, you can't be doing this, Black Adam, and have Superman's heroes, the way they do things, and Black Adam's heroes the way they do things, and that's where you had your collision. I thought that there was. I still want to see that.
I guess we got to wait till the company gets sold again, and then.
Or somebody licenses it off, because that's a really good story. That's a story that I would have used to end the universe. I wouldn't, if I wasn't going to do a futuristic Kingdom Come, I would have done that type of story. That's the only circumstances where I don't want James Gunn doing Kingdom Come unless he's doing Kingdom Come way in the alternate future. Don't do it. Don't be starting Kingdom Come in this next coming Superman. I don't want to see that. If you're going to tell the story as it is. I wouldn't mind replacing Magog with Black Adam. And then Sasha Calle's Supergirl is fighting Black Adam.
I need to see her and Henry Cavill team up so bad. Yeah. God, I want to see that.
And what ends up happening is, remember, when we saw Shazam twice now, we've seen Mr. Mind, and we're never going to get a resolution of that, which is bullshit. But we had Mr. Mind as a cameo in the first Shazam, and he's in the other one, right? Remember to tell you, what has been taking you so long? And you have Savannah in there, and you basically have that happen to Billy Batson the same way, so that they're fighting. So you have your matchup, so that your characters on there. You get your money shot, because I still think, I don't know about $1 billion. I think a considerable amount of money with the proper buildup, you would have been able to make a considerable amount of money. What you do then is you take that on the Flash. You connect all these movies together to where there's this big battle that's taking place, right? And then that's the end. That's the end of this universe. And just like in Kingdom Come, where Shazam uses his lightning power to destroy the atomic universe, as Flash is leaving that universe, your new Flash that you should have already had ready for the DCU, you don't even need to show me his face, is coming out of all that, because that universe, remember how you had the spheres in the Flash? That's one of the universe that goes away. That universe ends. So you could have used Black Adam and Flash. You could have used those 4 movies that you had, Left 4 Dead, as a means to tell the wrap up story that gives people a feel good feeling going into your thing. And James Gunn could have had a post credit scene in there. The Flash comes through, and it's a brand new Flash. You know, there's a whole bunch of things you could have done, but that's a different stream altogether. But yeah, Shazam can be a Superman, but even still, without Shazam, it's Black Adam. Black Adam.
Yeah, well, it's like no, but there is comic precedent of Superman, and there's animation precedent too of Superman, Black Adam.
Yeah,
that the animated short, Superman and Shazam taking out Black. That's one of my favorite animated ones they did. It's a short. It's not like a full feature. It's like a half hour long, but still that was really cool. So it's not like The Rock, like, in his mind, like invented the idea of Black Adam and Superman fighting. There's comic precedent and there is animation precedent. He's just like was taking that and running with like, okay, let's do it live action now.
Yeah, I mean, it should have happened. It should have happened, but it can't still because Rock doesn't age. William, Superman was facing Black Adam and Shazam, and Superman's tag partner was Batman. Would Superman survive? No, I would use Sasha Calle as Supergirl. I would even kill her off in this. I would even listen. This movie that I'm talking about, everybody dies in this movie, and the only one that's left is Superman. And that's when Flash comes through. And I would have ended Flash differently. Here's what I would have done. I would have had Ezra Miller's Flash come in through, right? But I would have had him leave that universe. I just had to, he was just he comes in after the bomb has been dropped, and there's just nothing to save. There's just nothing to save there. And I would have it the whole world is not just that part of Kingdom Come where they were fighting gets nuked. The whole world is nuked to get rid of superhumans and metahumans. And the Flash is like, I can't do anything here. And Superman's like, you can't. This world had its this world is over with. And I have the Flash leave that. But here's the thing, and I told you this story before, is I still have even if you didn't want to put in Darkseid, when the Flash leaves that universe, he should run into a bunch of other Flashes that are trying to do the same thing in their worlds. And the only way they can stop whatever their threat is to all converge at a time before whatever threat. For me, it would have been Darkseid. So we are going to converge before Darkseid ever takes that first trip and finds Earth. So the only way they can do it is they all join in the Speed Force. At the end of that Speed Force, at the end of that, the last movie you ever see, the last thing you ever see is the back of a brand new Flash. Doesn't have to be, it could be anybody. You don't even need to cast him yet. And he speeds in to all these other different cities. He speeds to Gotham. He speeds all this. You don't have to see the Batman, but you realize that you're in a new consolidated world now. And then that's where James Gunn takes over. But what you would have done is you would have given her tie up in a big battle, a big fight.
I think they could have even if they didn't want to do it immediately, they could have just they could have had like an interim thing where it's like the Flash, the movie, like it is the movie we saw essentially, but then the ending when he tries to go back to his home world, it's like he takes a wrong turn to Speed Force and he realized he skipped into another universe, and that's James Gunn's universe, and that's that's a bridge between the two of them.
Well, I would just blow it up because that would allow you to recast whoever you wanted to recast.
Well, I think the thing about this is too is because you're talking about Sasha Calle is because again she was originally going to be in the ending for the Flash, and then they took her out of that. So yeah, that's the thing too. Is it like imagine. I mean, you give that some time now and think about like the idea. Like, I mean, imagine how much that would blow up if we had that. It would be like if you had something similar to like the Superman Black Adam cameo, where like you had this figured silhouette step out of the shadows, and then Sasha Calle is Supergirl.
Well, I would have everything resolved in that one story. I would have everything resolved in that one story.
Well, I'm talking about like if you did something now, it's like okay, now we're gonna another company or a licensee or something. Oh yeah, we're gonna finish this, but and they brought her into that as part of it because with how the Flash ends for her, and they said, oh yeah, you're not just getting the Snyder JL characters, you're also getting her, you're also getting Black Adam, and that's like because. You have like those kind of like end of the movie or cameos that say again those are things like oh people are excited now, and then that sets up okay here comes the finale that people are clamoring for.
Yeah, and then the finale should have taken place before anything else. They should have had that written and done, because, like I said, if you want to wipe out all these characters with one big story, I'm okay with that as long as you tell the story. If you want to wipe out that universe and use that as a basis, like say all these Flashes are joining the Speed Force at the same time and they merge into one Flash and they take their realities with them, now that leaves James Gunn with something, bam, instead of, with some momentum going, instead of everybody wondering if Superman, what kind of money Superman's going to make, which, I don't think they're going to make a lot, but you know what? They made their choice. And I hope at least in comic book form, because once the universe dissolves, doesn't mean you still can't, because the Darkseid story is over with. We just never saw it, because by the time we get to Flash, by the time we get to all these, they've defeated Darkseid. So that story is over with. So even if you went out with a big bang, a big battle with Black Adam and Superman and all that, and they all die, that story with Darkseid, the original Flash, it's already been told. The Flash is after that. Aquaman 2 is after that. All those movies are after that big battle that would have taken place. That's all over with. So you could tell that in the Earl Swords comic somewhere. But you know what? Like I said,
they said, wait for the company to get sold again, or wait for them, the company to license it to somebody finally.
Yeah, or the comic. Just make the fucking comic. It's all right. With the comic, you don't have to license anything. You own the IP.
It's pronounced Arun. Okay. Thank you for clearing that, man. So Arun.
Okay.
Or Arun.
Arun. Okay. Well, that 2 O's is going to give me the Arun. Okay, Arun. Thank you. Like I said, we got people from Pakistan, Australia, the UK.
Yeah. And that reminds me also to talk. We got to talk about The Rock with Black Adam, because I'm sure you saw, there was a little bit of consternation of some pictures of Dave Bautista kind of floating around, where it's like he was looking a little bit. I don't know. This didn't really like strike me as like that shocking as I guess a lot of people did, but he you could tell he was, he was not as,
he wasn't bulked up,
massive as usual.
Yeah,
and he's doing press for the Killers again, or I'm gonna go try to see that tomorrow actually, because I wasn't able to tonight. I knew I wasn't going to be able to tonight, but I'm gonna try to tomorrow. And he was giving the interview, and he said he had to do, for a role recently, he had to. I mean, for him, he had to put on weight, and he said he had to get to like 315, which he's like 6'4", so even by his standards, that's like. That's
his normal wrestling weight was 285.
Yeah, so he's like, and he said like the way he did is like he just French fries and just pancakes and things. So then he then for another one he needed to trim down, and he just you can look this up. He said I just found like once I started kind of trimming down, it's like I started just feeling more comfortable just in general, but also on camera. And then he said, but now I'm seeing online people think I'm getting sickly, but and that's the thing is like,
because everybody's thinking Chadwick Boseman. Everybody's remembering when Chadwick.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is like he says like even with even now that he's dropped that weight, he's still enormous. So it's like it's just all a matter of like of just relative of just like that picture that's floating around. It's like if you had like me standing next to him, he would still look just tremendous, because even with like taking off the weight that he did, he's 6'4". He's got like the frame of like a mountain. So it's just you put like one picture of him again at that peak weight next to another one where he's dropped that weight. It just this is a case of looks can be deceiving. To the untrained eye, it looks like he's getting gaunt and frail. But again, it's kind of all but impossible for him to get gaunt and frail with the way his body is built, and the kind of the how broad he is, how much. I mean, there is such a thing, as losing too much weight, and getting to an unhealthy weight on the low side.
Well, the thing that I found kind of goofy and sort of offensive, especially as a wrestling fan, is everybody's like, he stopped doing roids, and that's what happens when you do roids. And I'm like, you fucking morons. Yes. As somebody who's watched the sport for over 40 years, I can tell you that steroids, anabolic steroids, played a major factor. A lot of my childhood people that I watched growing up are gone because of it. And Dave Bautista was sort of in that area. But here's the thing, especially in his era, especially with the health and wellness and the federal investigations and a lot of things when it came to steroid use, a lot of guys found different ways to bulk up. Nowadays, whereas in the 80s throughout the early 2000s, there were certain things and that's what you did. There are so many other things that are available that, a lot of these guys like Jonathan Gresham, he's like that. They actually have doctors that give them this stuff. And they're all cut and all this stuff. There's just all kinds of chemicals that you can get that could make Dave Bautista where he is, especially for Dave Bautista now, where he's not wrestling, he's not dealing with injuries, he's not dealing with all that kind of stuff anymore. So he's not keeping himself in that kind of condition, which is actually pretty hard. So he didn't want to carry that kind of weight anymore. That's just a personal decision. It doesn't mean he was roided up and he's not doing roids anymore. I hate seeing that. And it hurts so much because there was a time when that was the case. But like I said, you go into GNC, I talk to bodybuilders and people all the time. There's a lot of stuff that didn't exist back in the day that exists now that doesn't enlarge your heart, doesn't kill your kidney and liver. Now, there are still guys that are using steroids because they want the quicker way. But for these guys that keep themselves in the condition, and you look at wrestling right now, if you look at wrestling from when the Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude and guys like that were looking like they did, and you look at it now, your guys don't look like that anymore because it's no longer necessary. It's a specter now. The steroids was a specter in the business that took a lot of lives with it, and a lot of people are looking. The wrestlers that are working now are looking at Davey Boy Smith and all those guys and the things that hurt them, and the ravishing Rick Rude dying at 40, all the drugs and stuff that both worldwide are dead. There's just so many people that if you were to take a snapshot at wrestling during an era, half the people in the ring are dead.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, by the way, as far as some stuff Dave has coming up, Aaron, I think you'll dig this. Of course, there's the outside like the Netflix Avatar stuff. They're also you have Avatar Studios and Netflix now. They're producing. He was actually on Smallville at one point. I forget what he was. He was a Kryptonian soldier, I think. And this is like when he was like really just starting to make a name for himself outside of wrestling. But yeah, he was on Smallville. But yeah, going back to that, you've got with Avatar Studios, they got a number of animated movies and follow-ups and things that sort of come up. And one of them, the movie that's coming up is called Aang the Last Airbender. That's going to be out in 2026. It's the animated continuation of the main show, and Dave is going to be voicing a villain on that. So hearing Dave Bautista's voice in the Avatar universe, so it's pretty awesome.
Oh. Yeah, I'm like right now. I'm looking at I'm gonna bring this up.
Well, I'm actually looking at his. I'm gonna pull up his filmography right now because, like I said, he's because it's pretty. I mean, everyone would agree. Yeah.
I'm not fucking with this guy.
Exactly.
I'm not fucking with this guy right now. And Dave Bautista's up there. Dave Bautista's older than me, and right now in his current shape is in better shape than I would ever be in.
Yeah, but he's also a brown belt in BJJ too, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So he's got outside of pro wrestling, he's actually got legit fight training. He actually had one MMA fight that he did. I believe he did win that. So he's This is like the body of a Terminator.
Yeah, I would not. Yeah, I'm not challenging.
How old is Dave? I think he's probably about like mid-50s now.
Yeah, he's 1969. He is 55. In fact, he's got a birthday coming up. He'll be 56. And he got in late too.
Into wrestling?
Yeah, he got in the showbiz late.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he didn't start until
because he said Guardians of the Galaxy as far as acting for him, that was like the real turning point as far as outside of pro wrestling was.
He's undefeated. Yeah, you're right. He's undefeated. Mixed martial art.
Yeah, well, it's only one fight, but still, it's like
he undefeated, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, but again, still, that's okay. Taking it from but it's the problem is like you say that it's like taking it out. When you take when I say it's like it's taking it from like out of like pro wrestling into like
ask CM Punk. That don't always.
Like well, not just that, but also it's like. It's the whole thing about it's like, oh, wrestling's fake, and you have oh yeah, it's like clash you over the head with a chair. That feel fake. So yeah, I hesitate to kind of say that because it's stage combat, but it's also it doesn't mean it's hardly painless.
All right, in 2007, this is one of the things I remember when the clients from Signature Pharmacy of Orlando, Florida, which was under investigation for illicitly selling anabolic steroids. Batista denied the accusation and said he was tested regularly by WWE and in full compliance with the wellness program. He was also involved in other things that required drug testing, but he started acting in 2006. So what does that mean? So he's been acting for 18 years. So he basically started in his late 30s.
Yeah, and yes, he, like I said, he was on Smallville. It was that year, actually. It was 06, his first year. He was
Aldar. He played a guy named Aldar.
Yeah, on this episode of Static, so that would have been like season 6.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all 8 of you that watched that.
He was pretty awesome on the show. Well, again, it's like this is when this is before he really like made a name for himself, because he's really established himself as I guess we talked about like pro wrestlers, going turned actors. I mean, the 3 who have really been big success stories, of course, have been The Rock, John Cena, and Dave Bautista, but they've all kind of gone into like different. They've all sort of.
Dave Bautista's the best out of those.
Well, they've all like cultivated different images. Like The Rock has become kind of like the modern day Schwarzenegger.
They're all making money, yeah.
Yeah, and John Cena has kind of become more sort of like 3 of them. He's kind of like more the comic relief. He's like really gone, very lighthearted in a lot of what he's done. And then Dave Bautista, it's like he's done like a lot of the villain roles and a lot of action movie roles, but he's really tried to establish himself as a character actor, and again in this business, like with the way he's built, he's really kind of like going against type for like the kind of things that a lot of producers probably would throw his way.
Haven't seen the new price right. I've heard that there's something coming. I haven't seen it. What is it? Are they going to jump my price? Because I have the high end version. So is it going to get higher? Gee whiz, damn.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in Man with the Iron Fist. I love that too. Yeah. So, I'm looking at his filmography here. He was actually in the 3rd Scorpion King. That's when they were doing the kind of the straight to video Scorpion King sequels. He was one of those. And Man with the Iron Fist. He was in Riddick. Like I say, he was in Smallville. He was in with Rob Van Dam. Actually, he was in something called Wrong Side Down. It's interesting too, because when I interviewed Rob Van Dam, he talked about, because Rob Van Dam's like the leading man of that, but the poster has Batista kind of front and center. So he talked about, it's like, I kind of got a little bit, he had a little bit of chuckle out of that, where he said, it's like, when he was making it, he was getting there, yeah, I'm coming to set, I'm Rob Van Dam, movie star.
I see him around Vegas all the time.
Yeah. He was a man. He was a delight to talk to. He's
got a house. He's probably high. Internet has done a full loop of making fun of people losing weight versus now they think everyone who loses weight is some kind of disease. Well, that's because, like I said, the one of the most potent ones that did have one. So, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, he's doing his own thing.
Let's see. And then, of course, as he said, Guardians of the Galaxy really was his big break. As far as movies. He was also. I dug this. Even though this is kind of like indulging the whole thing about he. Also, if Brad uses his camera, you could easily. You go back. Easily do this for free with the Upstreet. Yeah.
He's talking about the new setup with StreamYard.
Yeah. Going back to Dave, this is definitely kind of like cashing in on his his bill.
Whoa, hold up. The 49 one is going up to $89.
Really?
A month?
Huh.
A month? Oh, fuck no. No, this isn't. What are you giving me for doubling the price? This better not be fucking true. Oh,
Yeah.
please. Oh, dude, we just I can't win. I'm okay with a price hike. That's double.
You're not okay with a price gouge.
Yeah, you're not. You better be. What are they giving me for an extra? Oh, StreamYard, and I'm having issues with StreamYard. You're out of your damn minds. Oh no, that just messed up my night/morning.
Wait, sent it to me. The thing I was talking about, going back to Dave's body work. He was Tong Po in Kickboxer Vengeance. The remake of Van Damme Kickboxer. It's also something called The Warrior's Gate. That was he did over in China. He was also the villain in the Ip Man spinoff, Master Z. So I really, he was pretty awesome in that.
So basically, we're gonna be sort of downgrading the show, but they created another tier, so this won't be too bad. This won't be too bad. I'm not paying $89 a month.
Yeah, that's some
Fuck
bullshit.
that. You people are out of your damn minds. There's some of the stuff that I like backstage participants. You have 15. I don't need any of that. I don't need backstage participants. I mean, if you're either on the show, you're not. So yeah. Oh, I'm assuming Anthony, that you're gonna be going. You're gonna be going the $44 route or the $25 route. Oh no, that dude. Okay, well, hey. I mean, yeah. The current tier that I'm on now is 49, but now they're raising it, so there's another tier that they've created. That's where I'm going. Might be some shit missing, guys, but as you know what, eventually we will reach a trajectory within that tier may be necessary, but we'll be making it, so I won't worry. But right now, I think I'm gonna stick with that other tier for right now. I would like to see him Roz Al, but you know, who knows? Yeah, but you and me both, Anthony. You and me both. Damn, I didn't even get an email from StreamYard about that. Whoa, when does this take effect?
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird.
Take effect. When does that shit take effect?
By the way, also one thing I've always thought about.
Oh! With the new plans already in effect, you'll automatically be moved to advance with the monthly price of $88.99 following your upcoming renewal on October 11. Oh, so you guys, okay? That's some fine print. That's a $40 fine print, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Every time I think I get a foothold and get a little bit of a leeway, snatch it right from me. All right, anybody got anything else? Because we've been on the air. At least I've been on the air.
Oh, hey.
Brad.
Oh, by the way, you were talking about you wanted to do tomorrow do a watch party for Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
You want to do that like tomorrow night or like what time?
I think we should do that tomorrow night instead of doing a TGIF. I think we just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm struggling. Should we do the first one or the third one? The third one is my favorite, but the first one is actually an all-time great. And we're talking about it's Friday the 13th. I would do a poll, but I don't give a fuck what you guys want to watch. You guys are gonna pick. You guys will pick fucking Jason X. I'm not watching Jason X. We're not watching the remake.
Well, that's definitely sci-fi, Jason X.
Yeah, that's just garbage.
I mean, stupid sci-fi, but it's sci-fi.
It has one good kill scene. I'm thinking 1 or 3. 2 is good, but 1 and 3 is my favorite. I saw that in the movie, so I think we'll probably do 1. 1 is easy to accessible to everybody too. And like I said, there's a lot of things about 3 that you really need to be watching in 3D, or else So yeah. All right, I think we're gonna do 1 tomorrow, probably around 11:30 or so. So no TGI up tomorrow. We're just gonna do Friday the 13th. And by the way, most people don't know this, but Jason hasn't always had that mask. Jason got that mask in my favorite Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. The first 2 movies. Well, he's not in the first one as a killer. Sorry, spoiler alert. It's been 42 years. And the second one, he's wearing a hood with one eye poked through it. He doesn't get the mask until midway through Friday the 13th, Part 3. He kills a campgoer named Shelly, who is a practical joker, and he's running around with a spirit gun. So Jason kills him, takes the mask, and puts it on for the very first time. It's a 1950s Detroit Red Wings mask, by the way, 1953. He puts the mask on, he takes the harpoon, and for the first time, you see Jason walking with the mask. And he's walking towards a girl in the lake, because she's skinny dipping, because that's what you do in these movies, I think. And she's telling Shelly, stop messing around, stop joking around. And she doesn't realize Shelly's dead because and one of the best kills in the 80s. Jason aims the harpoon gun, and it's in 3D. It's not Jaws 3D, not offensively bad 3D, 3D to where my ass was like, whoa, that shit coming at us. Puts it right in her eye, and then you see her in the eye. There's a scene in Friday the 13th, Part 3. You think the turkey scene in Thanksgiving is awe-inspiring? There is a scene in Friday the 13th, Part 3, where Jason takes a guy. His name is Derek. I'm sad that I know all the victims' names. I've seen this movie so many times. He squeezes his head so hard that his eye pops out in 3D. It pops out at you. 1982. These were visionaries. In the same year,
As we get that,
I got a fucking shark coming out and stopping in the middle of the screen.
they're coming at you that fast.
The glass is all lame looking.
And then it just freezes there. Yeah.
Horrible 3D movie. There was a movie called Parasite that came out in 1982 that had way better 3D, and that was nasty. That's that shit popping out of people's chests in 3D.
Yeah, it's funny, definitely, Aaron. It's
No,
definitely.
it's be a waste of time. But no, I'm not doing that.
But again, it's got a very memorable Jason kill in it. Let's see.
Yeah.
If realistically you haven't seen it, it's like Jason. They take Jason Spacey, basically turns into Lord Zed.
Yeah, that's basically what it looks like. That mask is awful. Yeah, quick Kevin Bacon. Yep, Kevin Bacon doing his handstand. All right. So tomorrow we're gonna do Friday the 13th. More than likely it's gonna be part 1. That is it for late night. Now early morning. We should put like a / late night, early morning because it always goes into the next morning. That's it. Anything you got? Anything else?
No, nothing, guys. I mean, I think we've.
And I'm hungry.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will see you tonight, Friday the 13th, on Friday the 13th.
All right. Try, guys.
That's not going to be the last word. That is not going to be the last word. All right, we got to knock this shit off. All right, we already got somebody tattooed.
Come on, man. It's you got to embrace like the.
I'm not going to embrace Fourth 1000 not being able to spell train. I can't do it.
No, what other?